Hello again, my name is John and I am a nobody. I hope you never have to go through what I went through when I was younger. I hope you never have to go looking for a device. I won't use the four-letter word, which begins with B and ends with B. I only had to do it 3 times, but that was one time too many, in my opinion. And the last time it was only a drill, but nobody told me. I was working at the British Officers Club and I'd seen people who had visited check the underside of their cars before they put the engine on. So it was very real for me because I'd done it twice before, looking for a device. In those old days, the threat was from across the Irish Sea. It was not from what some people call the religion of peace. And if you have problems with that, then maybe you should bring it up with Salman Rushdie or Ali, I can't remember her full name, but they both live under permanent armed protection, and there are probably lots more of them out there. So it's not my fault. Now, as I said, the last time I was looking was when I was still with the British Officers Club, and the threat was from across the Irish Sea. But the first time I went looking for a device was when I was working for the NHS. And I was told to go to the 7th floor of maternity and search the bins to look for the device. Someone with an Irish accent, had called the hospital boss and told him, it was a he, that there was a device in the maternity unit. Now, that's pretty sick, who calls up a maternity unit and says, they've planted a device and it's going to go off at midnight. So shortly before midnight, I was rummaging through this little bin of dirty clothes, and I thought, oh God, if the device does go off, that was a very short life. I was 18 at the time. Luckily, it was a hoax, and nobody was hurt. The second time was actually more interesting for you, maybe. I was working at accident emergency. We had 2 crash rooms, and behind the whole department there were offices. So we got this call again, and I went looking for the device behind the department in the offices, and I found it. I opened this drawer and there was an envelope in there, a brown envelope, and I did something really silly. I pulled out the contents of the envelope, and it was plastic with metal little bits to it, and I put it on the floor, and I called the policeman over who was also looking for the device, and he said, yeah, we found it, and it was on the floor. It's not a nice thing to do, to be involved in that whole device search thing. And then a surgeon came in and he said, well, let's have a look, shall we? And he reached down, picked it up, and it was an artificial hip joint. But it looked very much like a device. And it was not pleasant to be confronted with it. I hope you never have to look for anything like that, anything dangerous. And I take my hat off to the people that go and look for things like that, because it's frightening. Okay, well, I hope you managed to glean something from this. and take care of yourself and all those you love. And I hope to see you in the next one. Cheers, Zikowski.